Well, I have just spent the last 20 minutes talking to the camera that was not turned on. So I hit this with some 150 grit, cleaned up the joints. They're getting pretty good. And yeah, just some hand sanding, some sanding blocks. Sorry I didn't film any of that. That was not intentional. I'm sitting here in the workshop talking to myself like an insane person. Might not be far off. But yeah, I just gave it a good coating with wood filler on one side. Yeah, sorry, I wish I'd actually hit the damn record button on that. But I'm going to be back in a bit once this side dries. I'm just doing one side at a time, giving it a good once over with wood filler anywhere it might need it. Then I'm going to knock it down just with some, probably use the sanding blocks first, and then go to some 250 or 320 grit sandpaper, and then just some finish sanding. Then it's going to be staining, clear coating. I did dry fit last night, and I am a bit tight in here, so I'm going to grab the Dremel before I try to fit it again, and I will get that cleaned up. All right, back in a bit. Well, I actually remembered to turn the damn double checked. Okay, so I remembered to turn the to record this part. It's one of those days. So I'm just gonna just get some of this on wherever I think I might need it. Oh crap. Okay, that was too much. Scrape off any excess so you don't have to waste a bunch of time in sandpaper knocking it off. If it's just built up, it's not going to do you any favors. Not going to save you any time either. Especially in these little grooves here, the contour. It's actually one reason I like the popsicle sticks, because you get that curved edge you can work with. There we go. And you know what? This is going to be my last coat of wood filler on this. Because this is never going to be... I could spend a week on this thing and it's still not going to be perfect. It's glued together from... What was this? 4 or 5 pieces this broke into once I took it apart. So yeah, that's good enough. Sanded this side a little just so I could see if I missed any bits, and it looks good. So I'm going to hang this up to dry. Be back in a bit with final sanding of it. this without hurting myself this time. Oh, son of a bitch. Don't dink me off, fucker. God damn it. All right, well, I'm pretty much done the sanding, but as I went to fit the receiver, it was a little on the tight side, and oh, I had it right the first time. So, fits nice now, but it wasn't a great fit at first, and I opened up these cracks a little bit. So, I am going to dowel these. I'm not going to bother getting a bung for this. I'm just going to sort of eyeball this and get it as good as I can. Just a little bit more strength there. So I'm going to drill it at an angle, and then just so I got a spot to start. And then straight through. And don't push, because you'll just make that crack worse. You know, while I'm at it, I'm going to throw one into the bottom as well. Oh! Edit that out. So we got our 2 holes. I'm going to use some toothpicks I got handy because they're the right size for this. I'm going to push some wood glue into the holes, coat the dowels with glue as well. Want some good penetration there. And myself, I would rather have far too much glue like this and have to wipe it off than not enough and end up with weak repair there. I'm just going to give them a trim so I don't stab myself on them as I'm blind myself with it. Put goggles on. And again, I'm just using my existing holes for the butt plate. Twisting this in here, and I'm going to hang it to dry closer to the heater. There we go. Back in a bit. Pardon the mess, but the glue is dried on these 2 dowels. So I'm just going to clean them up with the Dremel and finish sanding. Let the tool do the work. Don't force it. You know what? It seems to still be a little snug. I can find where I put my rasp. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Well, anyways, I'm going to do a little bit more fitting just with the Dremel and that. And if I find my rasp, I'll use that as well. But I got a little bit of adjusting, a little bit of filing, sanding, you name it. So I'll be back in a while. Don't need to bore you guys with some detail sanding. Anyways, I'll be back in a bit. Alright, so that's after knocking down the dowels, touch of wood filler in there, and then another sand. So at this point, I'm pretty much ready to give it a coat of stain. Last time I tried doing that on camera, I was either messing up my workbench or dripping all over the place or just off camera. So until I get a better setup for showing how or when I'm doing the stain, it's foam brush, stain, shake well, you know, standard stuff, and leaving the screw and the wire in the back so I can hang it to dry. And actually, I even like hanging them to stain it in the first place. But I'm going to take a break, get some lunch in, and I'll be back once the stain has dried. Well, I got the buttstock attached. The stock's not looking too bad, so you can see where the wood filler was. You can see where the crack was. It's actually a lot more noticeable on camera than it is in person. But I mean, hey, if you remember how those looked at the beginning, I gotta remember to do better up-close pictures of these things before I start. And that's not the finish, that's just for my hands and that, those streaks. It's just the oil.